Stirring the coffee with the giant chopsticks of truth, using the vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee. At the molecular level, good morning, welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. We'll get started, but first, coffee. This is from Lidl. It's Bally whole bean coffee, so let's give this a shot. Nice.
Nice.
Reminds me of Ethiopian. I really do like it. I wasn't expecting to get anything decent at Lidl, being kind of a discount grocery, but I might be going through all of their whole bean coffees just to see what they have. And they're fairly affordable. They have a Tanzanian there that I've seen. They have Guatemalan. And I'm going to compare it to other Tanzanian and Guatemalans that I've had. Today's t-shirt is the courtesy of, I'm going to wreck your name, Paul. I'm sorry. Paul Pernula? I don't know. I should have called you first. Anyways, this is a Daybreak Show t-shirt with a very similar looking logo to a big coffee company. Daybreak Show, it says. And then there is the Sultan in the middle with the wavy line, beard, chopsticks in one hand and coffee cup in the other. I am absolutely loving this, so thank you, Paul. I really appreciate that. And what I want to do is I want to be able to promote your t-shirt printing. This doesn't even come anywhere close to that kind of on-demand printing stuff that you get through the other places, you know, where you create a design online. This is the real deal. This is like what I grew up with. This is how t-shirts are done. This is the kind of t-shirt that's going to last me. It's a solid shirt, well constructed. This shirt's going to last me 20 years. Literally, some of the t-shirts that I have that are 20 and 30 years old are like this. Printed like this. The graphics are still perfect, even 2 to 3 decades later. So Paul, definitely, if you want to make more t-shirts, I'm going to have to call you. I'll give you a call today because I really think you're onto something. When everyone is just doing print on demand, you are doing it in such a quality way with the layering. It's just amazing. I was just like looking at the graphics the other day and I'm thinking, this is so spot on. And are these for sale with you? So let me know. We'll talk about that. But I'm sure there are people who would love to have a Daybreak Show t-shirt like this. Any man who has some organizational ability, is likable, and can cultivate relationships should have a men's conference. Focus on a niche. Recovering from divorce. Being newly single. Single father. How to get girls. The old-fashioned how to find girls conference, if that's something that you're into. Make it a premium event. Top-notch hotel, great food. Allow the speakers to promote their books, their courses, etc. No bullshit, no hyperbole, no saying things about the conference that are just like ridiculous. Live events are great. Live events are always better than online events. And I've been on both. If you do that, you will have no competition whatsoever if you create a great conference like that. That I can tell you. So who is up for that challenge? Grift was the 2022 word of the year. There's dudes that grew entire platforms talking about grifters, which if you think about it, is a grift. Oh, the irony. As I said yesterday, some people hammering on just pearly things. I met her last year. Nice gal. Just socially nice, kind, feminine, funny, social, likable in a group of people. Just and I know a lot of people like to hammer on her, but she has, let's take a look here, 1.21 million subscribers. You know what? Good for her. Don't be a little bitch and start criticizing her. And I know I'm stepping on the toes of even friends by saying that. She's repurposing red pill content. Okay, she's not claiming to be a red pill woman. She's not a red pill woman. She's not a manosphere woman. She's not invading the manosphere. She's got a business model. And I want you to look at the business model rather than the bitching model that you have. This is what I want you to do. Look at her business model. Don't look at her. Like I said yesterday, don't hate the player, hate the game. And I'm not simping or white knighting for the woman. Half the people that people bitch about, I've met in person, had coffee with, talked to, and they're good people. You might not like some of the online personas, but a lot of things change face to face. There's only two people in the whole like red pill manosphere world that I don't like. Only two. The rest, I have met in person, broke bread with, told jokes to, heard jokes, shook hands, gave a nice bro hug to, talked about everything with them. And it's different. What you see online or on YouTube is so different when you meet people face to face. It really is. All that being said, Diogenes, a Greek philosopher in the 3rd century, walked around the city with a lantern in broad daylight. People said, "What are you looking for?" His reply was, "An honest man." That always made me laugh. I feel that way on YouTube. What are you looking for on YouTube? An honest man. I changed my name. I am on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at George Bruno. But that's my at name, at George Bruno. But I call myself the Pork Fried Rice King on Twitter. Just to troll people a little bit. Everyone went nuts over this Liver King and all this kind of stuff. You know, how it's the best thing for you, and I grew my body because of raw liver. So I basically like pork fried rice. And I'm doing the exact blanking opposite. I grew my body. I've done this right here is the result of pork fried rice. I'm the Pork Fried Rice King. George, I am recently divorced after a 32-year marriage. Not my wish. I listen to you every morning with headphones while I eat breakfast and drink coffee in my tiny rental house. I was not able to get the house. Your calm voice gives me courage, or encouragement, as you say. I go to therapy once a week, which is helpful. I have been in therapy for 4 years. The divorce took 2.5 years. Anyway, hearing you say stirring the coffee is good for my soul. Please keep producing your show. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, man, divorce can create PTSD in men. I think divorce is harder on men than it is on women. I really do. I have seen women sacrifice their fucking children in order just to get back at a man. Unbelievable. A man will tuck his kids into bed, kiss them goodnight every night, and then when she wants the relationship to end, then he gets to see them twice a month, and he becomes Uncle Dad. That's what blows me away. Women will sacrifice their fucking children in order to get back at a man. I've seen it more times than not. Prove me fucking wrong. Prove me wrong. The results are in. I polled all of my subscribers across 3 platforms, my 3 biggest platforms. About 3,000 respondents total. The 2 top issues were clear as to where most people's problems have come from. I gave 4 choices in this poll. I said money, relationships, health, or family. Money came out to 40%. Relationships came out to 30%. They were by far the 2 biggest reasons. But money and relationships are the biggest causes of people's problems. I am now doing the 1 set to failure method workout, doing it for February 3 times a week. No rest in between sets, full body workout, also doubles as cardio. I don't do cardio. I am huffing and puffing. I'm not sitting on the bench after a set of bench presses and just sitting there, playing on my phone like everyone else in between sets. I literally go from one exercise to another. And there's my cardio right there. And I'm crushing it. Absolutely crushing it. But I'm trying this method for a month. And it goes like this. Like if I'm on the bench, I'm not doing maximum. I'm not doing personal records. I've lowered the weight a little bit to make it manageable. My first exercise is a bench. Bring it down. And this is what I'm doing. I'm doing about a 3 count. It's like 1, 2, 3, and then down 1, 2, 3. Literally, that is the speed at which I am benching. Like that. I'm not, this is how I used to do it. Like that. I'm doing every set to failure till I can't do anymore. Till I can't do anymore. And at that point, I am quivering. Literally, I'm just like quivering. Arms are shaky. Do every exercise, only one set to failure. Now, George, what about the resistance bands and the gorilla bow? I still do all of that stuff at home. Still do it at home. But at the gym, I do all my exercises for the month of February, one set. A little bit of a lower weight to failure. I don't put myself in jeopardy. I don't have a spotter or anything like that. So like for instance, when it comes to the bench presses, I'm using the Smith machine. So I'm unhooking the weight and then going up with it and then bringing it back. Bringing it back up. When I know that I can't squeeze out one more rep, I will just hook it back on. So we'll see how that works for a month. Kind of cross-training, tricking the muscles, doing different things. I have never seen hair transplants duplicate a normal hairline in density. Never. There was a company, a medical doctor in Turkey, Istanbul, that wants to fly me out there and give me a full head hair transplant because I'm receding and whatever, they want to recreate my hairline. And I would imagine it, and free, they would fly me out there, put me up. I would imagine, I guess here's the deal. If they do something like that, then you come back and you show, and you vlog about it. You talk about your procedure and whatever. And I've known a lot of people going to Istanbul to get hair transplants. But I've never seen one to duplicate a normal hairline, ever. It's always this weird straight across thing. I've never seen a hair transplant, maybe one or two. Like I have one client who now has a full head of hair, and I'm actually kind of amazed at it. And I know he was being real patient waiting for it to come in, but it looks decent. And he had no hair. This guy had only hair on the sides, and now he's got hair. It's interesting. But what guys end up doing is they end up using those hair fibers, like in a little shaker bottle, to kind of build up the density and to amplify the effect, because they thought that they would have hair like they used to have, which is not going to happen. A hair transplant is not going to give you hair like you used to have. Prove me wrong on that one. So I'm not discouraging anyone from getting a hair transplant, but what I am saying is this: adjust your expectations. It's the same thing with scalp micropigmentation, where they put little dots. You know, like the look like when you, like if you have dark hair, like I used to have black hair, like this color here, okay, and then of course now I have white hair. For guys that are going bald, what they do is like they will shave the head down and then they tattoo hair, like little dots. Just imagine if you shaved your head and then you could see like the, the follicles, like the, but what they do is they tattoo the dark looking, follicle looking thing on a hairline. And I've seen that. But what happens when you go gray? You end up with a gray beard, white beard, and then black dots on your head that look like a short, buzzed haircut that's lined up, but with a white beard. I don't want to say they're taking advantage. Now, I was going to say that could be a grift as well, if you think about it. I mean, I know guys that went bald that got scalp micropigmentation, and it looks kind of cool because the scalp micropigmentation is their original color. What happens when their beard goes gray and the hair on the side goes gray? What happens? That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Unique AI content, artificial intelligence, is the result of other people's work. It's plagiarizing other people's creativity and it reorganizes it. If you did it, you'd be criticized as a plagiarist. Will those authors of content ever get paid for their work? Nope, never going to happen. Artificial mimicry, not intelligence. AI doesn't think for itself. All it does is just gather information that's already out there and reorganize it. It's not original. Grandpa, is it true that men used to write copy using their own creativity? Yes, grandson. There's a dude making $30,000 a month on Amazon selling AI-generated romance novels. What the? Really? AI-generated, like, hot, steamy, sexy kind of stuff. Entire romance novels. $30,000 a month. Alrighty. Well, now they call me the breeze. I keep blowing down the road. I ain't got me no buddy. I don't carry me no load. Leonard Skinnard, 1974. John Fitch posts the other day, I never felt better than when I eat mostly meat. I feel terrible when I eat processed food. When I ate nothing but plants, I lost muscle and felt weak. Steak is the way. Ah, John Fitch, fighter John Fitch, coming to an interesting conclusion there. All right, way to go. Pastor Tom in Kentucky, and we're going to have him on the channel soon, a former police officer turned minister. He's now a clergyman, a prolific author as well. He sent me some of his books. He's a subscriber here. His wife of 32 years has an affair and leaves him. He's a pastor of a church. She splits, ends up with another dude. Tailspin number 1. Not long after, he meets a nice lady. They start dating. They both feel like that they want to make it permanent, make it a permanent thing. It's beautiful when things like that unfold. One day they stop at a store to buy some gum, get some snacks. A truck crashes through the front window 5 inches from him, kills her instantly while they were holding hands. Tailspin number 2. Then, not long after that, COVID does a number on him to the point where he could have almost died. We're going to have him on here. He's going to talk about how God's grace got him through it all. Not everybody watching this show has the most perfect life. And I think many times when I have people on who've overcome difficult things, I think that's important to have people on like that, to give you hope. Why does the farmer put a plow in hard, empty soil? Because he sees the full harvest in his mind before the plow even gets near the soil. Jim Rohn said that. If you haven't discovered Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N, you're doing yourself a disservice. Jim Rohn could be one of the best finds for you in 2023. He's definitely one of the voices that can help you get unstuck. No need to insult Bugatti or McLaren owners. Everyone has their own thing, Rolex or Timex, it doesn't matter. What matters? How do you treat people? Are you taking care of your health? Are you making a positive impact in the lives of others? Men, women, your wife, girlfriend, your kids, your friends. We don't have to insult anybody. What matters? What matters in life? Mr. T, that's how Mr. T identifies himself, says, it's weird. I'm sitting here at 4 a.m., almost 30 years old, and I can say without a doubt that finding George Bruno on YouTube has saved my life, pulled me out of depression, and got me motivated to change my life course. Mr. T, I am honored to be able to do that. I don't pat myself on the back. I give thanks to God Almighty for giving me some wisdom that I can share, and I'm glad you're helped by it. I love this cartoon, a woman fretting on her pillow. I just want someone to love and accept me for who I pretend to be on the internet. Boy, isn't that the truth? One woman says, in reaction to my video, The Ghosts of Past Relationships, she says, are you related to the YouTuber Entrepreneurs in Cars? You two have the same voice. You just have more hair than he does. Not a lot more. But as far as the voice thing, I guess that's a compliment, because I do think Rich Cooper has a good voice. The men's development community, that phrase is much greater, deeper, richer, and more valuable than the thing called the manosphere. Men's development is better than manosphere any day of the week. I don't see drama in the men's development community. When it comes to manosphere, all I see is people fighting. Being little bitches everywhere. I'm glad I pulled my car out of that driveway. Not interested. I asked a question. I said, list the things that wake a man up. Here's some answers. Pain, like actual pain that forces a response. Faith, loss, no money, homelessness, no resources, being alone. Poor health, a bad breakup, the red pill. The Listen My Son podcast in the evening. A grandfather's life advice, making mistakes, severe pain, facing poverty, heartbreak, calmness, nice weather, brotherhood, forgiveness, age, my children's voices, my cat meowing at 4:30, betrayal, failure, solitude, disrespect, having to pee, divorce. Yeah, all of those things can wake a man up. Women don't actually find a dad bod attractive. It's just another psyop to encourage men to be weak, fat, compliant, good little boys. I knew a woman once that said, I prefer the teddy bear types. Interesting, right? She had kind of a teddy bear body herself. No wonder. You know, if a teddy bear looking woman criticizes a guy that's built or in shape or athletic or slim or aesthetically ideal, if she criticizes that, it's only because she's criticizing herself. The minute she loses weight, she's going to want a guy that has lost weight, is in shape, and etc. I don't believe the whole dad bod thing is a positive movement. Just like with women, getting fatter and fatter on magazine covers and fashion shows. Ugh, come on. The fat acceptance movement, body positivity. Sorry, it's negative. Your lab work's going to tell a different story. What it is the diabetes, Hashimoto's, obesity acceptance movement. Stop it. Just stop it. Chad bod is better than a dad bod. At the very minimum, sir, start working on it. You'll feel better. You'll feel better. It takes a while. You know how you put on that weight? 1 ounce at a time. You know how you're going to lose that weight? 1 ounce at a time. And you can do it. You can. Christian pastors in the manosphere, manoswamp, are nothing but attention whore wolves in sheep's clothing. They think their very presence is going to bring people to Christ because Jesus hung out with sinners. Yeah. You know what? I bet they're just running to you, aren't they? Saying, what must I do to be saved? Oh, the self-importance blows me away. Unbelievable what certain Christian men do and think. And I'm not saying that from a view of perfection, because God knows I'm a sinner and I'm the first one to admit it. I have come to give you death, to suck the life out of you, to confuse you, to mock your faith in Christ, to shame you with hyperbole and reckless and irresponsible accusations and exposés. That comes from the scriptures of Manosphere 3:16. When business is slow, the untrained business mind lowers their prices. Discounting and lowering your prices also lowers your reputation. If you live by price, you will die by price. Instead, add a premium. Only give discounts to new customers to get them in the door. But stop this price lowering thing. Okay? Stop it. Huge difference between the red pill and the manosphere. Red pill lens is actually quite helpful, whereas the manosphere is not helpful. Manosphere is a toxic shit show to avoid, denounce, disavow, and distance oneself from. The red pill lens is a beautiful, life-giving practice and discipline. Two different things. You say you hate all this stuff, I can tell you it's probably manosphere stuff that you hate. It's not the red pill. Earthlings will probably bring their BS to other planets in the same way the West has brought its degeneracy to Eastern cultures. How long before there's porn and drag astronaut story hour on Mars? Elon Musk said we're going to be on Mars in 10 years. Reminds me of people who move to another state thinking things will be different. Guess what? You take yourself with you wherever you go. Nothing's going to change unless you change. Changing the scenery, that's all it's changing. I'm going to move to Florida and have a good life. No, you're still going to have a shitty life. The shitty life that you have in Pennsylvania, Ohio, Kentucky, New Jersey, New York, Maine is going to be the same shitty life, except you're going to be in sunshine and around palm trees. Would you ever eat horse meat? 28 grams of protein per 100 grams. It's lean, great fat loss alternative. High ratios of omega-3, and deliciously gamey. There's many countries in the world that have horse meat. Would you have a horse steak? Put the answer down below. I've had more than a few acquaintances head to marriages, and I instinctively knew that it wouldn't last. And they had to go through the meat grinder, the stupidity of divorce and child custody and all this stuff. And then after it all, when they found out that I wasn't a big fan of the woman, they said, why didn't you say anything? There's 3 reasons. Nobody listens, nobody listens, and nobody listens. I don't volunteer information, ever. Ever. I've almost lost friends because of that in the past. Not going to do it anymore. Another great quote from Jim Rohn, don't ask for it to be easier, ask for you to be better if you work hard on your job. You can make a living if you work hard on yourself. You can make a fortune. Once I figured that out, everything changed. Jim Rohn will be your best find this year on YouTube. I love you, but I love me this much more. If you leave, I wish you the best, but I'll be okay. That's how you deal with an unhappy girlfriend. There's no begging, pleading, negotiating, or forfeiting your testicles, my friendly acquaintance. If she wants to go, there's the door. That should be your attitude. And with that, finish your coffee, and I'll see you on the next Daybreak Show, your home of sanity, clarity, and reason.
I don't blame that men would rather go to separate gyms and not to have to deal with that, because most of the men, they going for a workout and they don't want any drama, they don't want destruction, They just want to do what they want to do, you know, have a good workout. Well, these women are just mentally unstable. That's the problem. But then obviously she was wearing just, I think, a sports bra, very tight. This trend with just wearing a sports bra. This is like you would just wear your underwear to the gym.